Hey guys, and welcome back to the Reciprocation Station. On today's installment, we're going to talk about empty love tanks. There's a book that I read. It's called Love is a Choice. And in that book, they speak about having an empty love tank. It also speaks about letting go and releasing toxic relationships as well. Some of the topic that they cover is having an empty love tank. A lot of people that are codependent, they try to get in relationships with other people in order to fill their love tank. Their love tank is empty because when they were growing up in their childhood, their mom or their dad um, didn't have their needs met, whether that be emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, or financially. So, with that being the case, if a person hasn't had their needs met by their parents, in those five areas emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially their love tank will therefore be empty. So a lot of times people get into relationships and they don't love themselves. There's no self-love, and they don't have that love from their parents growing up, and their love tanks are empty. And so they get into a relationship being codependent on another person to fill up the other part. When people say like, we're 50-50, or I'm looking for my other half. So that basically like they're 50% whole on the love tank metrum, self-love, and the other person is 50% whole on the love tank, self-love spectrum. And they want to, as codependents, want to come together as half-filled love tanks to complete themselves. And that's not how it works. In order for you to be complete and whole, you have to be complete and whole and self-love. You have to be complete and whole by loving yourself, putting yourself first, putting God first, and loving yourself, knowing your wants and needs, and taking care of your desires, your wants, as well as your priorities, your responsibilities, and being able to have self control, self discipline, being able to have habits and boundaries and standards for yourself, 100%. So when you deal with people that have empty love tanks, a lot of times they are possible narcissists. A lot of times they can be people that just didn't have that their needs met emotionally in childhood. And so a lot of times people with empty love tanks, they're immature, they're emotionally stunted, and sometimes depending if they have trauma, they have arrested development as well, to where their whatever trauma that took place in their life is wherever they are mentally, in mind and emotionally, as an adult. So say if you experienced trauma when you was 12 years old, as an adult you might be in your 30s, but you're still stuck mentally and emotionally at that trauma point when you were 12 years old, if that makes sense. So that's what's arrested development. So people with the empty love tank, they usually very immature, emotionally stunted, have arrested development, and of course did not have their needs met in childhood, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, or spiritually. All right. So the best thing to do by having an empty love tank is to love yourself, put God first, take care of your wants, your needs, your desires, your responsibilities, have self control, have self control, self discipline, have ethics and standards for yourself, have boundaries, have goals for yourselves, know your likes, know your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses, and do the things that make you happy, and that make you the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. All right, guys. So that's what we got for Empty Love Tank on this installment. Feel free to leave your comments. How do you guys feel? Have you been in a situation where you've been with a codependent person that you felt that had an empty love tank? Do you have an empty love tank? And what are some of the things that you've done to, help you out and help you to elevate and to become 100% full, as far as that goes in your love tank? Merch and ebook on the way. Thank you guys. Have a great day.